Hey guys, Mrs. Jones here. Our next step is to work on our sketchbook. You should have received this last week from your teacher. Whether you saw me in person or whether your teacher handed these out to you. Monday's group, you're going to be getting yours from your teacher this week along with your portfolio, which we just worked on in the last video. So what I need from you to do is I need you to turn it to where your staples are at the top. We're going to be working on 1-point perspective and how it relates to using our names on our sketchbooks. These sketchbooks are to stay at home, and we're only going to be working on the cover this week. So please don't draw anything inside them yet. I will be giving you assignments where you will need to be working on the inside, so you're going to need to keep your pages free and open so that you can use those. We are going to be working on 1-point perspective. I'm going to show you 2 ways to do it. 1-point perspective has to deal with everything that goes back to 1 point. And I'll give you some more information on that in maybe some other videos about 1-point perspective. What I want you to understand though is it's going from large, what is closest to you, to small, going away from you. So large, what's closest to you, to small, going far away from you. Okay, so we're going to be using it with our names. You can choose 2 ways to do this first one, and then this next one there's 2 ways also. So I'm going to show you the 2 ways here on the front of the one way that I'm going to talk about first, and then the other way is going to go on the back. Okay, so notice mine's going to be a lot smaller than yours. Yours can fill up the whole page, but this one is just going to show you 2 ways. Okay, so I'm going to start with a dot. I'm going to actually flip over to my marker so you guys can see this better. A dot, 1 point. Now your point is going to have what's called, that's your vanishing point, and it's going to have lines that go to that vanishing point to help guide you. Okay, so I'm going to have some lines, 1 on the top, and I'm going to have 1 on the bottom. Okay, so notice everything that's over here is going to be large, and then everything that gets closer to that vanishing point is going to get smaller. Vanishing means it's disappearing. Okay, so as we vanish back to our vanishing point, that's where our stuff's going to get smaller, but as it comes farther away and closer to us, it's going to get larger. So I'm going to start with my name. I'm only going to use my last name in this one. So I would start with the J, and I'm going to go from top to bottom. I'm going to use all of my space. I'm going to give myself room between my letters because I'm going to make something different. O, go all the way to the top and all the way to the bottom. N, E. Now this is going to be the tricky part because I'm going to follow that line for my E. E at the top and at the bottom. And look, I've lost my line up here at the top, but that's okay. S, and I'm going to bring it all the way down. Okay, now I'm going to make my lines, and I've already started a little bit. I'm going to make my lines a little wider so you can see my letters just a little bit more. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to come beside it, and I'm just going to come out and around and back because that one's at the edge of the paper, and then this one's going to come out and up. Okay, now because this is an oops, I'm just going to work around it and make it into something that's not so much of an oops. We'll make it work because that's what art is all about. It's making it work, making it look like it's on purpose. All right, so my next spot is my E. So I'm going to come down next to it. I'm going to come up with it. I'm going to come out with it. All I'm doing is boxing off these letters and just making them a little bit bigger and a little bit wider. On my N, I'm going to do the same thing, only I'm going to do it on the front. And I'm going to come underneath it. And then I'm going to go in the middle. And this one's gonna be my tricky one. I'm gonna start it here and I'm gonna end it here, okay? So there's Mrs. Jones' name in 1-point perspective. Now when I'm finished with this, I can come back and I can use other things and I can make designs. Notice mine's gonna be a lot smaller than yours. Yours needs to fill up the whole thing. Mine only filled up part of it because I'm gonna show you 2 ways. You can come back in and you could add color. If you wanted to add it into like a cityscape, you could add it into a cityscape, like if there were buildings on one side and this was a street in the middle. Completely up to you. All right, so I'm gonna show you the other way, okay? So I'm gonna have my vanishing point on the other side and I'm gonna have my lines come up and out. Okay, so on this one, I'm not gonna show you Jones. I'll show you my first name and how I fit it in. Now, for those of you that have longer names, you may need to have these 2 split up so that you can get them all in there. Or maybe you need to have it where you have your last name on the front and your first name on the back, or vice versa, or whichever way you want it. Or maybe you just need to have your letters smaller, okay? So this, I'm gonna start with, my first name is Sarah, so S. And this one I'm trying not to make my S huge, like fat, like wide, okay? Kind of tall and slim. And I'm not gonna use the lowercase letters. I'm gonna use all uppercase because it's gonna be easier that way. A, going all the way to the top, all the way to the bottom. R, A, H. Now technically, I'm just thinking this through, I should be able to bring this line all the way back through my A and this A. So this top A is off a little bit, but I'm gonna fix him so that he goes back to where it's supposed to be. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start doing something different here. I might do dots. I might have some of those other fun shapes fill in, but I'm gonna do something just a little bit different because I can, because you don't have to be, not everything has to be the same. And so I'm gonna fill this in with dots and lines, dots, dots. Okay, this one's gonna be the one that's tricky. And that's how I'm gonna do that one. Like I said before, I'm gonna come back in and I'm gonna use other colors. I'm gonna start filling things in, making things look the way I want them to. Once I've got my name practiced out and I understand how to do the 1-point perspective, I'm gonna come back in and fill it in the way I want it so that I have it, oops, broke my crayon. Personalizing it, so to speak. Giving it your spin of what you want it to look like when you're finished. On the back, if you don't do anything, you're more than welcome to create your own thing on the back. This is going to stay at home with you. We are going to use this. Keep it available. Those Monday friends, feel free to stick it in your portfolio. But keep this available because I will make reference to this on using it to prep for other projects. Have a great day, guys.